My parents weren't from Fort Myers. Mom came from Manila, a city 200 times the size of Fort Myers. I imagine her plane as it landed at our one-strip airport in 1978. I see the old her, the pre-motherhood mom, stepping onto the sweltering tarmac. A 27-year-old version of herself, springy and lithe, soaking in the familiar heat in bell-bottoms and big sunglasses. A Filipina Eva Gabor surveying the green acres of her new home, still unaware of its terrors. Unaware that she was less a pioneer and more a piece of infrastructure, a tool slapped with a Made in the Philippines label. The Asian model, far less expensive than the Made in the USA one. My mom was a means of keeping these snowbirds in good health. She was an IV pole that could speak, a crutch that could calculate antibiotic dosages. My mother never wanted to be a nurse. She wanted to be an engineer, to design, create, perfect. As the oldest of 7 children living in inner-city Manila, Mom renounced most of her wants before she could get to know them. As soon as she could wipe a butt or boil a pot of rice, she lost herself, absorbed by the needs of others. The only want Mom clung to was escape. In the Philippines, that meant nursing. In the 1960s, the Manila Educational and Exchange Placement Service ran ads in newspapers and magazines. One showed the Philippine flag as a basket, cradling brochures for Canada, Europe, and the USA. I imagine Mom reading the ad after volleyball practice at the Catholic high school her grandmother paid for. The one where Mom perfected her English so that any hint of a Filipino accent disappeared. After riding a packed bus through roiling city smog, after returning to her 2-room home with its roof of corrugated tin, to feed and bathe her siblings and tuck them into bed on the 2 threadbare mattresses they shared, head to toe to head like sardines. I see Mom curled up on a thin mat on the dirt floor in the flickering light of a kerosene lamp, rubbing her youngest sister's back with one hand, holding the pages of newsprint in the other. "Dear nurse," the ad began, "if you're not happy wherever you are right now, why not take the easy way out and go someplace else? We can't promise you'll find happiness, but we can help you chase it all over the place." It listed an address and a 5-digit phone number. I imagine Mom committing them to her photographic memory, tucking them into a file in her mind somewhere near her mom's niligang recipe and her cousin Nestor's birthday. Nursing. Or maybe a few slots before those, in the H section. Happiness. Mom has a frightening memory. She never owned a textbook. Her family couldn't afford them. When she borrowed one from a teacher, library, or friend, she memorized it. She took notes on the words and filed the graphs and charts in her snapshot brain. When exam time came, Mom was the person students went to with questions, not the teachers. In a place of so little, this was something big. The United States needed nurses. The Philippines needed the money work-abroad nurses sent home to their families. Manila was being rubbed out by the brutal first decade of Ferdinand Marcos's rule. The U.S. was the land of the free. It was a no-brainer for my mother. Pick freedom. Chase happiness. Be somebody. Or at least try.